Morning, AYS. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports, a Saturday morning edition. Look, I might have to have 2 cups of coffee. We got so much we have to talk about this morning. As I'm repping my Joe Burrow jersey 1 year ago, not today, but 1 year ago, around 1 year ago, Joe Burrow was taken as the number one overall pick in the NFL draft. So we're going to do our due diligence and repping Joe Burrow. But we got a lot to get into. Good morning, everybody. If it's your first time joining AYS on a Saturday morning, we read all of your comments. We get into pretty much everything. We go about an hour. So we'll read all the comments. If you have a question, put it in the comments, hashtag Ask Blake, and we will get into it right here. Let's see. We got a couple comments already. Brian Viator says, we are live. Let's go. Robert Plaisance says, good morning. How about the Tigers pick up huge road series win on the road? Yeah, I thought that, winning the series against Ole Miss is huge. Absolutely huge. I'm a little surprised. I'm going to be honest. And look, I kind of feel like this is a typical Pulmonary team, man. Typical. Like, I remember us seeing this in 08 when they went on, 28 win streak. I'm not saying this team's going to do that, but they've kind of gotten hotter as the weather started to heat up a little. So, really interested to see. David says, let's go. Stan the Man Pokey. My good friend Stan the Man Pokey says, let's go. What's going on, Stan? All right, guys, before we get started, I'm going to let you know what we're talking about today. Okay, number one, we will talk about the LSU series win over Ole Miss. Can they get the sweep today? The Kim Mulkey update. What did we hear? We were told I'll get to that first. But the Kim Mulkey update, it's looking really good for the Tigers. I'm going to say this, too, and I really am going to get into this. The real credit Ed Orgeron should get for locking down the state of Louisiana when it comes to recruiting. He's not getting the respect from LSU fans and really the nation about what he's doing in recruiting, period. I mean, we'll get into that. But before we get into all that, guys, we got to go over to our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons and pay some bills around here. So listen up, and guys, go see them when you're in the Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area. Well, the audio's not playing. Okay. I'll just do a live read-off. All right, GM Varnado & Sons. Guys, go see him over at 2500 Florida Boulevard, Denham Springs, Louisiana. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today. They're closed today, but give them a call Monday at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992, or go see them over at 2500 Florida Boulevard in Denham Springs, Louisiana. They can give you a tow as well. So if you're anywhere around Baton Rouge, guys, I've had so many people calling me, telling me that they've got their a rig service. I know our good friend Harold, I think, got his rig serviced. Somebody needed a lift kit. They got their lift kit on their truck. Someone broke down, an AYS listener, I think about a week ago, sent me a message saying, Blake, I was broke down on the side of the road. GM Varno & Sons came and picked me up at a very fair price. And they were so nice, so helpful, brought my car right to their shop, changed my tire. I had a blowout, didn't have a spare, and so they were very cheap, and they were so great to work with, and they would go back. So, guys, go see our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons. We love Mr. Jerry and Trey Varno over there. Let's see. Ryan Gidry says, we're live. Good morning, AYS. Let's talk some Kim Mulkey heating up. All right, yesterday I was told for some people in Tangi that she's really close with, that there's a strong possibility that at the current moment she was going to stay. I didn't fully believe it. That's why when we made the post, I said, listen, people are saying she's going to stay at Baylor. It's fluid to change, and I don't believe it. Now, there was a lot of reporting. I think it was Wednesday. A lot of people were reporting, hey, she's committing tomorrow, meaning Friday or yesterday. She's going to be here. She's going to be announced Friday. No, they weren't, and that reporting was false, as it kind of normally is. But she was not being announced tomorrow. What I will tell you, and if you saw the post, I think right at lunchtime, we posted a thing about the picture with Scott Woodward, the smiley face, because Scott Woodward needs a win to kind of turn the tide on this LSU narrative. We can't go get a coach. You know, Baylor was reporting, some guys at Baylor were reporting that LSU was not going to get Kim Mulkey and that LSU wasn't a blank check school. Rudy Poo, they're not. You're not a blank check school. LSU has literally done things like pay coordinators $2.3 million to go home and sit on their asses. They paid Les Miles Godley's amount of money to go home because they were tired of the damn toss sweep. They were tired of Les and all of his Rudy Poo-ness. So stop with this. LSU's not a blank check school. And quite honestly, if you didn't see the reports last night, look, Darius Geis, all of the records of him at LSU will be scrubbed. Everything that he's had any involvement, and he's banned from LSU because of all the allegations that's going on. So I think from a public relations aspect, going and getting Kim Mulkey is huge. Now, look, she's going to come in here, and I feel about 96.8% that she's going to be announced as LSU's next head coach, women's basketball head coach. Again, I mean, look, we've been saying this all last week that we think that she's coming. I know that we said yesterday that there's a chance that she wouldn't, but at the current moment, she was staying at Baylor, and then negotiations need to be going. Look, a lot of times when we do stuff like that, it's saying like, "Hey, brother, we're hearing some stuff. Pick your shit up." And Scott didn't go down lightly. Look, and I'll say this in reference to money. I know that this is going to be a big question in reference to money. Scott Woodward has big boosters, literally a very big booster, not only money-wise, but physically a big booster. That's going to make sure that this is okay, that you can go pay her. So it's looking very, very plausible that she's going to be announced Monday. There is some rumor. I'm still trying to confirm that she is going to be announced Monday morning. We'll have to see. I was told it was going to be in the PMAC, but I do feel that she's coming. She's turning. Look, and Mike Scarborough and me have been talking about this. I know that he said it on his show, and I know I said it on mine, that she was supposed to be at a Baylor function today. Well, then Mike Scarborough found out late yesterday evening that she's not going to be there. She canceled her appointment or her thing with the fundraiser at Baylor. Guys, when you start canceling stuff at Baylor and she was supposed to be a special guest at the Baylor spring game, and she canceled that. Put two and two together. Put two and two together. Ryan Thibodeau, Craig Shuley says we are live. Ryan Thibodeau says good morning, and we are live. Stephen Frey says 2-year-old was up at 6:30, but now we are live. That we are. And look, we're going to be live next week. I think from a basketball, men's and women's basketball, I think it's going to be a big week next week. There's a chance there could be a big week next week. Carl the Cat Dunn says, let's go. Ryan says, awesome jersey. Yeah, I should have gotten the 150 sticker. Let me take this comment down. I should have gotten the 150 sticker, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to represent Joe Burrow. Dude, we got more LSU shit in my office. It's unreal. It's unreal. David says, hell of a win, hell of a baseball series win. Go Tigers. So surprised we won that series. I'm not. I mean, I am and I'm not. The simple fact, this is so pulmonary, man. This is so pulmonary. So pulmonary. Wait. So, Blake, did this happen in 2008 where they start off slow and then they start getting hot? Yeah, they weren't ever losing. They didn't have a losing record. Yes, I get that. But as the weather continuously goes on, they get better. That doesn't mean that, look, they could lose today. They could lose a series to Arkansas. That doesn't mean anything. I'm just telling you, they normally start getting hot. His teams start normally getting hot as the season goes on. Scott says, morning, fam. How about that performance from A.J. Labus? I thought it was amazing. I mean, the fact that he went 9 innings. And look, the truth is you needed A.J. Labus to go 9 innings. You needed A.J. Labus to go 9 innings. You have a lot of suspect pitching in your bullpen outside of Devin Fontenot, what he did Thursday. You needed him to do what he did. And I've been posting this video. You guys remember Major League 2 when Pedro Serrano was like, oh boy, came up to him and said, you had no marbles. And Pedro Serrano hits a home run and he's doing like this when he's running down first base. That was A.J. Labus last night. Big balls. I know it's early in the morning to be talking like that, but good googly moogly. I mean, the dude had some big balls last night. Corey says, big win. I agree. Todd. Put down that coffee. It's too late for that. I'm already swallowing a Beta. Todd, good for you, brother. I can't do that, bro. I'm a late night drinker. I can't be drinking all day. If I start drinking all day, it's over with for me. Mark LaGrange says, Burrow jersey looks a bit different on that Adonis form. See, Mark, that's a great comment. I mean, he's talking about my Adonis form. Boom. Adonis. Yes, I do have a tattoo. I think that's the first time you guys have seen that. Harold says, Ed O, a.k.a. Mr. Lockdown. I want to get to this really quick as we continue to get to everybody's comments. We have had a saying, put respect on somebody's name. We better really start looking at Ed Orgeron recruiting and start putting some serious respect on his name. Well, Blake, Jacoby Matthews, the 5-star safety from Ponchatoula, Louisiana, didn't commit just because of Ed Orgeron. He committed because of Mason Smith that came over from Mississippi State yesterday. Come on, bro. I mean, yes, Mason Smith was a huge connection. Jacoby Matthews told you how big of a connection that was for him. But come on. They hired the kid, and then the recruit came. It's a great start. It's a great start for Mason Smith. But over the last 3-4 seasons, LSU, ever since Devontae, or I guess you could say the Sobsher year when he went to Alabama, really anybody that LSU's wanted out of their state, they've gone and gotten. So this whole, Alabama's coming in here and getting LSU, Louisiana recruits, that's over with. Guys, the 3 5-stars in your class, Walker Howard, Will Campbell, and Jacoby Matthews are all committed to LSU. Do you understand what's going – I don't know. And look, I'm not the big recruiting guy. That's why we bring recruiting guys on here. Because I don't follow it like they do. Now, I follow it closely, but I don't follow it and talk about it because, look, that's just not my area of expertise. But I know when I see something, I know when I see something that it's good. And what Ed Orgeron's doing is good. And I think that we need to start putting some serious respect on the simple fact of what he's doing. Carl the Cat Dunn says, let's pay those bills. Yeah, we got to pay bills around here. Vic says, hashtag ask Blake, are you checking out any spring games today? Not really. Not really. I'm going to watch Baylor's a little bit because, again, like I said in the very beginning, I still think that there's a 95% chance to 98% chance that Kim Mulkey is going to be your next women's head basketball coach. Again, I want to make this very clear because we've seen this with LSU. Things are very fluid. And what I don't like, let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like the fact that we have the whole weekend before an announcement will be made. I don't like that. A lot of shit can go down in a weekend. But as you know, here's the funny part about this, and you guys know how open I am about this kind of stuff. You get information from LSU, you report on I will tell you what LSU tells us. let's just say hypothetically Kim Mulkey doesn't come. LSU doesn't get the bad rap. We do. I mean, they might get it a little bit, but we're like, oh my God, y'all were saying this, saying that. I get it, and it's a price that we pay for telling you what's going on and shit doesn't go down. But I do feel very confident that this is going to go down. Very confident this is going to go down. I'm going to watch Baylor. I mean, not just from a Kim Mulkey perspective. I want to see what, Dave Aranda and some things that they're doing. But we'll see. Corey says, hashtag ask Blake, got edged up, boy. Me? I got edged up? Maybe I did. I don't know. Ryan says, man, they got so many people that saying we would paying too much money for a women's basketball coach. I guess they don't want to win championships. Well, not only that, I mean, you guys, we have to understand that you have a PR nightmare on your hands right now. Let's call it what it is. You guys know that I've had Glenn Gilbo on. My thoughts about waiting for due process. Regardless of waiting for due process, in our society, today's society, people overreact way too quickly. And that is the PR nightmare. Now, hopefully we've put a dent in it and said, hey, guys, you actually have to wait for evidence. Hopefully we've done that. But you guys, we got to wait a little bit. Yes, sir, Mr. Benjamin. You want to come on Dad Show? Come here. Come here. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Tell them hello. Say hey. What did you eat? Did you eat some pancakes? Come guess. Thank you. Bye. 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 Why are you getting so shy? You're normally not this shy. Phil Tittle. Well, good morning, Phil. He says, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if Baylor secretly wanted Mulkey to come to LSU. Let's stop right there. Phil, you're absolutely right. Phil, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a lot like this, the Marcus Freeman deal. When we were thinking about Marcus Freeman coming to LSU as DC, at some point, like, hey man, make a freaking decision. I would think that you're right. And look, there's a reason that she's coming. I get that Nikki Farkas, is stepping down. Okay. But there's a reason. And look, I said Wednesday and Tuesday of our shows last week, there is a power struggle with her and Baylor right now. A huge power struggle. I mean, quite honestly, guys, and let's call this a spade here too. If they're able to get Kim Mulkey, that's like getting a Nick Saban in women's college basketball that you just hired. I don't think people understand that either. Guys, she's a multiple time national championship winner. The worst thing that she does is get to the Elite Eight. But yes, I think Baylor, and look, Baylor talk radio, I've been kind of monitoring that during the week, and I hate talk radio, even though I do a podcast, but I hate it. They're kind of frustrated. They're extremely frustrated. They want her to go. Hey, you want to entertain and you don't want to put this to bed? All right, see ya. We don't need you. Which the truth is, with the transfer portal, and that's another thing. Guys, with the transfer portal, there's no question, and I get the whole tampering thing, what could mean tampering, but with this transfer portal and one-time transfers, guys, she could let her whole team transfer to LSU, and then they're in national contention. But LSU was in a very bad state in women's basketball, but they're about to get out of the shack. Poor choice of words. Giving them an easy way to transition the money into men's program with Scott Drew. I agree with that, Phil. I think that's a good point. I completely agree with what you're saying. It's not only is it, I mean, what you're saying is just true. Tasha Thibodeau over at the Real LSU Nation, guys, go over to Real LSU Nation. Great group, always great content for you LSU fans. She says, I believe, thanks for always ignoring the noise and pushing forward with the story. You're killing them. Thank you. Thank you. And look, I'm going to be honest, we take the flack from it when shit doesn't go down that way. Joey on YouTube says the big talk since hiring Pete is that we can bring back the 2019 offense. Blake, why would LSU go away from the prolific play style to begin with in 2020, and who calls what it do so? And whose call was it to do so? And whose call was it to do so? I don't think that Ed walked in a meeting, Joey, and said, let's get away from the 2019 offense. I love this man to death. I'm not trying to poo-poo on this man. I don't think Steve Ensminger understood what Joe Brady did. I'm being dead ass honest. I'm dead ass honest. I don't think that he fully understand in crucial situations what Joe Brady brought to the table and what he was calling in passing game situations. I'm just being dead ass honest. So, and look, Ed was pretty prolific at the beginning of the season, during the season, after the season, and now with a hire of Jake Peets, he wants to get back to that offense. There's absolutely, I don't think that Ed was telling you without telling you. But I think that's a little on Steve. And when you don't understand something, when you don't look, Steve does not know the RPO game as well as most, and he doesn't know how to teach it. When you're learning something, it's better to get it from the headmaster, the grand master, than it is from the student. You would want to learn from the grand master, and he was learning that. So again, I love Steve. I think that I think that he's a great complimentary play caller because he sees things that these young bucks sometimes don't. But that's what I think, Joey. Matt Addison, what's up, my man? He says, big boom coming for Will Wade and company next week. Are they going up? They're going up to Illinois? They're going up to Illinois to get a little something, get a little action? Is that what I'm hearing? Uh-oh. Kenny says, go to hell, Ole Miss, go to hell. They say, it's funny because Ole Miss says, come to the sip. Come to the sip. We came to the sip multiple times and whipped up on your ass. Come to the sip. We have a big series next week against Arkansas. Our base running needs to get better. Yeah, and I don't think Drew Bianco needs to play another game at LSU ever. I'm over the Drew Bianco. Think he's a good kid? I'm over it. Joshua Miley says, I understand him being banned, but stats are stats. Why take that away? I think that, Josh, I think that they're trying to make a point there. If you haven't seen it, Darius Geis has been banned for life, allegedly, I guess you could say, but there's reporting, so I would have to dig into that more. But banned from life from LSU functions, and all of his stats have been scrubbed. They did it. Look, they did it for O.J. Simpson at USC, I think, at one point. They've done it for multiple people that have had serious allegations like this. He's not the first. And look, again, we were talking about the PR move with Kim Mulkey. There you go. They're trying to PR this thing as best as they can. Darius Geis isn't worth to them. I'm just saying this, and please don't take this the wrong way. Darius Geis is not worth anything to LSU right now. I don't mean that in the wrong way. Their actions are telling you that. Their actions are telling you that. There's nothing wrong with in saying that, but they banned the kid for life. For life. And he hasn't been technically convicted of anything yet. Actually, with all the, look, I still think Darius Geis is with all due respect, I mean, he needs a lot of help. I'm not saying that, but the kid hasn't even technically been convicted of anything yet. Actually, charges got dropped. Again, just want to be careful. I want to be very careful when we talk about. Never mind. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one. But we need to be careful with that. Let's see. Greg says, "Who do you feel is a starter today?" I don't know. I kind of want them to go Helmers or split it up, but Blake Money does not need to start today. If Blake Money starts today after having 2 horrible outings, I mean, like, what are you doing there? You know. Kenny Russell says, "I hear that recruiter Mason Smith will be killing on the recruiting show." Well, he got you a 5-star. He was there. He was literally hired at LSU, and 32 minutes later, Jacoby Matthews called Ed Orgeron personally, says, "Say, bruh, you got a spot for a player?" And Orgeron said, "Oh, that tiger." And then I heard, then Corey Raymond started, hitting the crip walk, and then Ed Orgeron started dancing, and they were playing bow, bow, bow. Tasha says Orgeron is king. That's why they hate him. We need to be careful about, Ed Orgeron recruiting, people got to put respect on his name. Guys, the state of Louisiana is locked down. And Tasha says, hashtag bring Mulkey home. Hell, we were the one putting the hashtag together. Hashtag bring Mulkey home. I'm going to take a little bit of credit to that if we're being honest. Sam Bacon says, hashtag ask Blake Mulkey, looking at houses in your neighborhood yet? I don't live in a neighborhood. Maybe. Y'all gonna know what y'all gonna know when that plane flies. I mean, people track flights. Come on. Vic says, hashtag ask Blake, I'm going to check out Texas A&M spring game. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna monitor a little bit, but we have some friends coming over tonight. We're gonna be cooking some little steaks. We're watching a little LSU baseball. So Phil Tittle says Ishmael did LSU a favor going to Bama. We'll see. We'll see what he does at USC. Jeff Wild says Ed has not lost a single 5-star Louisiana kid since becoming the head coach. That's also true. That's a big statement right there. It's a big statement. The truth is that, and look, we can't really poo-poo on Nick Saban and Alabama's recruiting, but they've lost more, and I looked this up last night, they've lost more recruits from the state of Alabama coming to LSU than what LSU has lost Louisiana recruits going to Alabama. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. Shannon Williams says, hey, Ben, yeah, he usually's in here. He's usually cutting up, especially when we get a recruit. Lee says, what's up, Ben? Bye, Ben, says Robbie Smith Jr. He's usually up in here. Kyle Former sent us some stars on Facebook. We appreciate that, my brother. He said, got that Irish coffee? No, I don't, man. No, I don't. Not today. I got to chill with my drinking. Ryan Thibodeau says, look, this was our hashtag. Hashtag bring Mulkey home. Craig Schilling says, I need to go Tigers from the Naked Jaybird. Ben, come see. Dude, he's playing. I think he, for whatever reason, I don't know. Tasha says, bye Baylor smooches. I love it. Corey says the transfer portal is ridiculous. Corey, expand on that. Why? And some of you that are watching, if you think that the transfer portal is ridiculous, tell me why. Tell me why. I mean, some of you know my thought process on that already. Lee McCaffrey says, holy dad joke with the Shaq take. That was a dad joke. I am a dad. They were in the shack. Courtney Putnam, my older sister, says, good morning, little bro. Good morning, Courtney. Wallace Bourne says, Blake, you the man. I appreciate that, Wallace. I appreciate that. Colin Thibodeau says, you doing a hell of a job keeping up with ever-changing coaching searches. It's tough, y'all. Like, I don't like them anymore. I'm going to be honest. It's great for our page. It's great for our brand. It's great for our building. It's horrendous to keep up with. I really wish my wife would come on here with her beautiful self and tell you what it looks like during a coaching search in the Rufino household. It's a constant phone call. It's a constant phone call. Guys, late last night, I think I was on the phone at 8:30. I don't remember the time. I'd be lying. But it's good when it happens, but it's always other people got new information. Here's more information. Here's this information. Here's that information. Ask my wife. I mean, it's a constant phone call. We have somebody that works in LSU's building last night, and we're sitting here eating dinner, and I'm like, well, I better answer it. And I'm sitting there talking to him in the middle of dinner last night. So much for family dinner. Put that bitch on speaker, though. Hey, if you're going to interrupt, you're going to let my wife listen, period. Daddy was hungry, too. Kyle says it's simple. You had a different style quarterback. Max allows you to run that offense. What are you talking about? But yes, he does. Oh, you're talking about Ensminger. Possibly. Yeah, he does. And that's why the play calling against Florida and Ole Miss got 10 times better. No question. Guys, when you're able to move with your feet in the pocket, I went back and watched our spring game this week. I stayed up late one night and watched it. People saying the O-line did horrendous. Get a better take. Get better eyes. Go get your eyes checked. Go get that LASIK because I don't know what you just watched. Nope. Lee McCaffrey says, I don't think Ensminger could teach it. Not only could he not teach it, I don't think he fully if he understood it, I believe that he understood it, but I don't just think he could translate it. You know, there's a big difference in knowing something and being able to translate it. Guys, look, I mean, it's very difficult for me to come out here with notes every single day and every single morning or every single evening, whatever it is, and to translate what I want to talk about. It's not easy. And then to teach it, not as easy as people think. Lamar Williams says, good morning. Good morning, my good friend. Tasha says, 2020 football was an anomaly. Don't hang your hat on that. COVID and politics took us out. The gates of hell have come against LSU. We still standing with Tigers. I agree with that statement. Ryan says, not many today could do what Brady does and fully understand how. I agree. Well, no. And again, just translating that from the field. I mean, this is what Ed Orgeron is doing. If you don't see it, let me tell you what Ed's doing. Now, on the defensive line, I mean, look what he's done to the defensive line. A defensive line coach probably got you the best D-line in the country. It is what it is. Yeah, he's going to get good D-linemen. He's going to coach them. He's not going to coach kids that are Rudy Poo. It's just not going to happen. He goes and gets you the recruits offensively and says, do what you have to do. Hey, I'm going to recruit because I'm a damn good recruiter. Do what you do. And the simple fact that LSU has 32 guys that had starts from last season, unreal. It's amazing. Lamar Williams says, remember, he only had 1 year with Brady. If he had longer, he may have had a better grasp. That's true also. Especially on how to teach it. Tasha Thibodeau sent us some stars on Facebook. Thank you very much, Tasha. And so did Matt Addison. Matt, thank you very much, my friend. Vic says, hashtag Ask Blake, Will Wade will land Adam Miller or Ty Washington. It's looking like Adam Miller, I mean, from some rumors. But again, let me make this very clear. I'm not the recruiting guy. I'll tell you some things I hear. I'm not the recruiting guy. I'm just not. Might have to bring on Scarborough or somebody else like that, but I'm just not the recruiting guy. And we got some serious comments up in here today. Jason says, why is he playing this weekend? He hadn't been playing because it's so crazy. Talking about Drew Bianco. It's so crazy because he grew up in Oxford. That's why he's playing. That's their justification. Hey, it's working. Okay, for what it is, they've won the series. So Phil Till says, don't forget that offense was scoring a lot of points at the start of the year, even with Chase opting out. The offense lost those games, or the defense lost those games. You guys know my take about that. When you're going 2 for 24 on third down, don't. Jacob Wallace, what's up, Jacob? He says Bianco is too slow on that double play transfer. I would put Cranford at second base in the ninth, better defensively. I agree with that. It's a good take. I agree with that. Robbie Smith says, I believe Geis is being banned indefinitely rather than for life. Okay, well, there you go. But banned indefinitely, I mean, that is for life. I mean, OJ's not even welcome back at USC. What are they going to pull it? They're going to pull it if Geis is found guilty? They're not going to pull that. They pulled his records. I mean, they pulled his stats. I mean, come on. Denzel says, nobody's bigger than the program. They'll kick you to the curb. Exactly. And Denzel says, I believe he deserves due process. I do too. I mean, look, again, he has not been convicted of, being charged and convicted of a crime are two completely different things. We are the due process show. If this is your first time ever listening to AYS, everybody's throwing allegations out everywhere, but I will always stand by due process. Unless you have significant evidence to tell me something else, I won't due process. I don't care about that, man. Like, I want to know. I want due process to go through the fold. That's your golf set. That's your golf clubs. Come here. You don't drive golf clubs. Jacob Wallace says Blake Money isn't ready. Start Helmers today and let Money throw in the midweek. Well, Money is ready in this sense, Jacob. I mean, we saw him shut down Vandy. We've seen him shut down teams when he comes out of the bullpen. I don't think he's a starter, though. I don't think she's a starter. All right, she's a starter. He's a starter. So I think that you could throw him in the midweek. He's just, because then how do you explain Vandy? I mean, he came in after Paul Maneri made a horrible decision after the Jaden Hill injury, and he went in for Brady and really just locked things down. Let's see. David says Hilliard should start game 3, 9-5, 12 starts, 3.79 ERA. Sunday starter. I think he'll get rocked, me personally. Kyle Farmer says it's money season. The floodgates have opened. Yeah, it's money season. The simple fact that you had people at Baylor saying that LSU's not a blank check school. You're not a blank check school, brother. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know that. But people going out there saying LSU's not a blank check school and won't pay money for women. And here's another thing that Scott Woolward's doing. There's 3 things. Number one, we talked about this a little bit. Number one is Scott Woolward's got the PR nightmare with the Title IX investigation. He's got to put that somewhat to wraps. That they're doing everything they can to end this. Paying a woman $2.5 to $3 million to come coach your women's basketball team proves that you want to do stuff like that. Number 2, Joe Oliva and F. King Alexander and LSU before, or when those 2 guys were there, LSU went and spent $1 million on a head coach at Nick Saban to bring him here from Michigan State, right? Like, they showed that they want to win and they want to bring in the money. And listen to Nick Saban when he said that Mark Emmert, the president of LSU, now with the president of the NCAA, which he might be coming back to LSU, we'll have to wait and see on that. But he was the one that sold Nick Saban that, hey, brother, we're gonna spend this money to get athletics rolling. We're a sleeping giant. So he's gotta fight over the persona that LSU just doesn't spend money. Bullshit, they don't spend money. That man went to Washington and pulled Chris Peterson to Washington from Boise State when nobody in the country could do it. He got Jimbo to A&M on a $75 million guaranteed contract. And with all due respect, I hate Texas A&M. I think that they're Rudy poo. But the truth is Texas A&M almost is one game away from getting in the playoff last year. A program that's been dormant. A program that's been on the outskirts looking in. So Scott Woolward's got to fight that. And number 3, he needs a victory. Scott Woolward needs a victory. There's no denying that. This is his first real coaching search, head coaching search. He's got to win it. You want LSU fans to have faith in you? Bring Kim Mulkey. Hashtag bring Mulkey home. You guys, I know what's going to happen when Mulkey gets here. Joe Oliva sucked. Scott Woodward's the best AD ever. Let's see. Aaron says LSU would be stupid not to hire Kim. I don't think it's all about them not wanting to hire her. They want to hire her. I think they will hire her. Kenny says, is keeping Nick Saban away from the state will help down the road in so many ways. No doubt. No doubt. Craig Schilling says Blake just needs to work on getting some movement with his fastball too straight. That's why I have a circle change. Harold says, do you take a look at Vandy, Donovan Kaufman in the portal like what Ward is doing, but Harris? I think you look at him. Mark says, good morning, Blake. It is Mulkey time. I feel like when people say that, you guys remember the what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger superhero movie? Jingle All the Way. It's like he was Turbo Man. It's Turbo time. When y'all keep saying it, when everybody says it's Mulkey time, it's Turbo time. Slingshot engaged. Tasha Thibodeau says transfer portal allowed us a natty. I ain't mad at it. Yeah. Colin says the portal is ridiculous till it works in your team's favor, and I think that's the general concept in that. Robbie Smith Jr. says, who doesn't put respect on Ed's name as a recruiter? Everyone I've acknowledged thinks that he's an elite recruiter in that regard. There was an early. This is what the point I'm trying to get around this, Robbie, is you have some media members. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm not going to go deep into it. To fire Ed Orgeron about X, fire Ed Orgeron about Z. But when he does something good, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. They talk about, oh, we got another recruit. Oh, we got this. Oh, he's a 5-star. Oh, this and that and the third. But they never, ever, ever, ever talk about Ed Orgeron locking the state down. It's never an Ed Orgeron. Damn, look what Ed Orgeron did. Damn, Ed Orgeron's doing this. Damn, Ed Orgeron's doing that. It's always about somebody else. That's the way that he wants it. And I get it. But at some point, we have to put some respect and some credit on that man's name. You got somebody that does radio from 3 to 6 who's trashing the man again. And I'm not talking about the man no more, but you got him going out there talking trash about the man again. And you just got another 5-star recruit out of Ponchatoula, and you're locking the state down, but you want to trash the man and say fire him because you never played football a day in your life. You don't know sports, and you think that you do. Be careful who you listen to. Fire Ed Orgeron. No, fire you, punch you in the face, punch yourself in the face saying fire Ed Orgeron. Rudy Poo ass. Kyle Farmer says hashtag the Godfather. They call me the Podfather. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. That was good. That one was good. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. What a great Italian movie. Robert Playson says, I think that the transfer portal is good and bad, depends on the situation. I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I mean, coaches hire and fire all the time, and you're telling a kid. It's funny because again, kids are signing one-year contracts for these schools. 1-year contracts. It's not like they're signing 4-year deals to go to your school, because that's not what's going on. What's going on is they're signing the 1-year deal, and then you're saying, well, hey, I got passed up. I've been here 3 years. I mean, quite honestly, yes, if Joe Burrow was a grad transfer, I get that. But at the end of the day, he was a transfer nonetheless. The craziness in this is the best LSU player of all time, and I'm wearing this jersey, the best player of all time to ever step foot on LSU's campus, ever, it's not debatable, was a transfer. Joe Burrow legitimately put his name in the transfer portal, even though he was a grad transfer. Corey says, you pretty much have to recruit players on your team every day until they leave, allowing 17, 18-year-old kids change their minds every time they feel like it. I mean, there's no question about that. There's no question about that. None. Kyle, what's going on, Kyle? He says, O-line starters did well, but the fall off from starters and backups right now is large. You know, I went back and looked at it, Kyle, and I think you bring up a good point. I don't know how bad the second team – stay with me here, because they didn't do great. I don't know how bad this – there were spurts where other guys, like I think Charles Turner did really good. Remember how bad his snap was getting to the quarterback? I thought that he looked good. I'm not as concerned with a center behind Liam Shanahan. I'm not, being a former center myself. I think that Cam Wire looked good. I think Thomas Perry looked good. I think that when you look, see what's crazy about this, when you have four guys that are doing really well, and you have that one guy that looks like Rudy Poo, and I'm going to just look, Carlo Thomas got beat up and down the field all night, all spring game. And people were talking about when Mac, this is the reason why they said the O-line did bad, is when Max Johnson was rolling out, trying to make something to go with his feet, that it's the O-line's fault. Well, the truth is, on both of those plays, Dare Rosenthal pancaked B.J. Ojulari. What do you want him else to do? Majority of people that are in sports talk never played O-line and they don't understand it. Holland says, got that early show going. I like that. Or I like it. Don't let these fools try and bash you for sharing other outlets' breaking news. Well, it's not even breaking news, really. I mean, look, the first thing we had was that she was being announced tomorrow. I got ripped to shreds because I said that it wasn't happening tomorrow. And it is what it is. But I still feel about 95% confident, 95 to 98% she's coming. Tasha, okay. Blaine Smith says LSU landed Matthews. One of the reasons was a new recruit. Yep, sure was. Ryan Thibodeau says the quote-unquote Joe Brady offense has answers. It's like playing chess when the defense is playing checkers. I could see that. Yeah, it's true. A couple more, then we're going to get out of here. We've been at about 50 minutes. LSU Deck Man on Periscope says, good morning. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. Ethan says, Blake Money is Kenny Powers. Changed my mind. You're not going to get me to change your mind. Jacob says, let me rephrase that. He's ready to pitch in relief. I just don't believe he's ready for a start. I agree with that, Jacob. I'm right there with you, brother. Right there with you. And to your point about Blake Money being a starter, if you are going to start him, then start him in the midweek. I agree with that. I'm fine with that. He's just ready for, he can go in relief. I mean, shutting down Vandy the way he did showed us that. Craig Schilling says Blake just need to work on getting some movement with his fastball. Too straight. Okay, we read that one. Why is that one up there again? Let's see. Cedric. Check your comments on Facebook, Cedric. Blah, 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 blah. Lamar says she deserves the money. Make sure she gets it. Yeah, I think she deserves the money. Again, guys, you're getting a multiple-time national championship coach in Kim Mulkey to come here. You're getting the Nick Saban of college women's basketball. I've talked to 4 boosters that do not have and TAF members that do not have women's season tickets. They told me when they hire her, they're going to. So take that for what it's worth. And look, she's a hell of a fundraiser too. Sam Bacon says he's entering the transfer portal today. Okay, Sam. Brent says, man, I'm so glad I came across your stream. First time here. I love everything LSU. Well, Brent, I greatly appreciate that, brother. We go live Monday through Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. and a Saturday morning show, as you see here. Glad you stopping by, my friend. I love when new people stop by, man. I love when you guys share our stream and bring new people in here and all that kind of stuff. I love it. Steven says, welcome to the fam. Absolutely. Welcome to the fam. Hashtag go Tigers. C King says LSU does stupid stuff sometimes. You ban Geist records, but not Miles. That's an interesting point. You know what? See, I didn't think about that. LSU knows banning Miles records means eliminating a championship. Just ban both from the school and don't put yourself in that situation. You know, see, I'm going to be honest. I didn't think about that. Shit, that's a good point. Let me go find this comment on Facebook. I'm going to give that one a like. I don't normally do that. Damn, see, that's a good point, man. I really hadn't thought about it like that. Really hadn't thought about it like that. Man. But again, that goes to prove the point, you know, now that I'm kind of thinking about this a little bit, that goes to prove my point about the Darius Geist stuff, right? Like, they don't care about Geist. They don't care about due process right now. It's a PR move. But C's so right with that one, man. Robbie says, wait, that guy said to fire Orgeron again yesterday. Yeah, he did. I'm not gonna keep talking about him. Tony says the Podfather, boy, bye, bro. We're making it over again. We're the Podfather. He's swimming with the fishes. John says, hashtag Ask Blake, let's freaking go for that sweep. Yeah, we got to go for it, man. We got to go for it. Jake Nola says, new to the show myself, I dig it. Thanks, Jake. I saw we were commenting back and forth on Scarborough's show the other night. Thank you for coming in. Tasha says, I truly don't believe Mulkey is all about the money. She's not. When she becomes a Tiger, she will earn her salary with ticket sales alone. I agree with that. All right, two more, then we're going to get out of here. Henry says, good morning. This is setting up for a monster recruiting class. Pretty much have everyone they want in state. Just now cherry pick the rest all the way. They can do that. I agree with that. Cedric says, hashtag Ask Blake, you always my go-to guy when I need information on the Tigers. I appreciate that, Cedric. Appreciate that. And Ryan says, I have to go. Great show, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. All right, Ryan, we greatly appreciate you, brother. And you know what? We're going to end it there, too. We're just going to end it there, too. It's a Saturday morning edition, guys. We greatly appreciate y'all joining the show. We will see y'all Monday with some good news, hopefully. But until then, guys, y'all have a good night or have a good day. Peace out.